Welcome to Mindleapic, your sanctuary for soothing, sleep-inducing tales from the ancient world. Tonight, we embark on a gentle journey through boring Greek myths, crafted to lull you into a peaceful slumber. These timeless stories of gods, heroes, and mortals unfold with a calm, steady rhythm, perfect for unwinding or drifting off. If these tranquil tales help you relax, please like this video, subscribe to Mindleapic for more serene storytelling, and leave a comment below. We'd love to know where you're watching or listening from, your country, your city, and the local time. Settle in, close your eyes, and let the myths of ancient Greece carry you into a restful night. Let us begin at the very start, where the world was nothing but a vast, empty void, a quiet darkness waiting to be shaped. In Greek mythology, this emptiness was called chaos, a formless expanse without light or substance. Imagine a silent, endless night, stretching in all directions, still and serene. From this chaos, the first beings emerged slowly, as if waking from a deep sleep. These were the primordial deities, the ancient forces that set the universe in motion, their presence as gentle as a whisper in the dark. The first to appear was Gaia, the earth, a vast and nurturing mother whose body formed the ground beneath all things. Her presence was solid, warm, like the soft soil underfoot after a spring rain. Alongside her came Tartarus, the deep abyss below, a shadowy realm of stillness and mystery. Then emerged Erebus, the personification of darkness, cloaking the world in a quiet veil, and Nyx, the night, whose gentle embrace covered the heavens. From Nyx and Erebus came Ether, the bright upper air, and Hemera, the day, bringing a soft glow to the cosmos. Gaia, in her boundless patience, gave birth to Uranus, the sky, whose starry dome stretched above her like a protective canopy. Together, they formed the foundation of the world, earth and sky entwined in a tranquil dance. Their union brought forth the Titans, a race of immense beings who moved with slow, deliberate grace. Among them were Oceanus, the river encircling the world, his waters flowing in a steady, soothing current. Coeus, the axis of the heavens, holding the stars in their quiet orbits, and Cronus, the youngest, whose calm demeanor hid a restless ambition. The Titans were not alone. Gaia and Uranus also bore the Cyclopes, one-eyed giants who forged lightning bolts in their subterranean forges, their hammers ringing softly in the depths. There were also the Hecatoncheires, hundred-handed giants, their many arms moving in a rhythmic, almost hypnotic motion. These beings lived in peace for a time, the world a place of gentle balance, with mountains rising slowly and seas pooling quietly under the stars. But peace was not eternal. Uranus, fearing the strength of his children, especially the Cyclopes and Hecatoncheires, confined them in Tartarus, deep within Gaia's body. This act stirred unrest in Gaia's heart. Like a faint ripple on a still lake, she whispered to her Titan children, urging them to act. Cronus, the boldest, took up a sickle crafted by Gaia, its blade gleaming faintly in the starlight. In a quiet, decisive moment, he overthrew Uranus, severing his power and casting him aside. The sky retreated, and Cronus became the new ruler of the cosmos, his reign marked by a tense calm. From this act came new life. Drops of Uranus's essence fell to the sea, where they mingled with the waves to form Aphrodite, the goddess of love, who rose from the foam near Cyprus, her beauty as soft as the morning mist. The world now had gods, titans, and the first stirrings of divine drama, but it remained a place of slow, deliberate creation. each step unfolding with the patience of eternity. Cronus, now king of the Titans, married his sister Rhea, and their union brought forth the first Olympian gods. But Cronus, haunted by a prophecy that he would be overthrown by his child, as he had overthrown Uranus, swallowed each of his offspring at birth. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon vanished into his belly, their divine light dimmed but not extinguished. Rhea, grieving for her children, devised a quiet plan. When her sixth child, Zeus, was born, she hid him in a cave on Crete's Mount Ida, wrapping a stone in swaddling clothes for Cronus to swallow instead. The cave was a place of stillness, its walls echoing with the soft cooing of the infant Zeus, tended by nymphs and fed by the goat Amalthea. Zeus grew in secret, his strength building slowly under the stars. When he came of age, he returned to challenge Cronus, aided by Gaia and the clever Titaness Metis. Metis gave Cronus a potion, a gentle draught that caused him to regurgitate his siblings. One by one, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon emerged, their divine forms glowing softly in the twilight. United, they declared war on the Titans, a conflict known as the Titanomachy, a slow-burning struggle that reshaped the cosmos. The Titanomachy lasted 10 years, a measured clash of divine forces. Zeus freed the Cyclopes and Hecatoncheires from Tartarus, their gratitude forging new alliances. The Cyclopes crafted Zeus's thunderbolts, each one crackling with quiet power, while the Hecatoncheires hurled stones with their 100 hands, their movements steady and relentless. The Titans fought back, led by Atlas and Prometheus, their strength rooted in the ancient earth. Battles raged across mountains and seas, but the Olympians' resolve grew stronger, their unity a calm force against the Titans' fading might. In the final moments, Zeus unleashed his thunderbolts, their light flickering softly across the heavens. The Titans fell one by one, their forms sinking into the earth or banished to Tartarus, where the Hecatoncheires stood guard. Atlas, as punishment, was tasked with holding the sky on his shoulders, his burden a quiet, eternal weight. The Olympians claimed Mount Olympus, their new home, a serene peak piercing the clouds, where they ruled as the new gods of the world. The world now had order, but it was not without cost. The Titanomachy left scars on the earth. Mountains cracked, rivers diverted, and skies darkened by smoke. Yet from this chaos came a new balance. Zeus divided the cosmos among his siblings. Poseidon took the seas, his waves lapping gently. Hades ruled the underworld, a realm of quiet shadows, and Zeus claimed the heavens, his throne bathed in soft starlight. The other gods found their roles, Hestia guarding the hearth's gentle glow, Demeter nurturing the fields, and Hera overseeing marriage with calm authority. This creation myth, with its slow unfolding, sets the stage for Greek mythology's vast tapestry. The gods, born from chaos and shaped by conflict, were not distant but deeply involved in the world, their stories woven into the lives of mortals. The Colosseum, though a Roman monument, echoes this legacy, its arches built under the influence of Greek culture, its spectacles a stage for tales of divine and human struggle. As we drift deeper into this myth, consider the Colosseum's own creation, a monument born from imperial ambition. Much like the Olympians' rise, its stones, like the gods, have endured through time, weathered but eternal. The quiet rhythm of this story mirrors the Colosseum's own history. Slow, deliberate, and lasting. In the next part, we'll explore the tale of Prometheus, the Titan who defied Zeus, his story a gentle thread in the fabric of Greek myth. Let us continue our gentle journey through the soothing myths of ancient Greece, drifting into the story of Prometheus, the Titan who defied the gods for the sake of humanity. Imagine a quiet world, newly formed under the rule of the Olympians, where mortals lived in simplicity, their lives untouched by the warmth of fire. This tale unfolds slowly, like a soft breeze across a still landscape, carrying lessons of sacrifice and resilience. Settle deeper into the calm of this story as we explore the boring yet captivating details of Prometheus's gift and its consequences woven into the serene tapestry of Greek mythology. After the Titanomachy, the Olympians ruled from Mount Olympus, their divine authority casting a tranquil order over the cosmos. Zeus, the sky god, governed with a steady hand, his thunderbolts a quiet reminder of his power. The Titans, defeated, were mostly confined to Tartarus, their once mighty forms fading into shadow. Among them, Prometheus, a Titan of foresight, stood apart. His name means forethinker, and his cleverness was as soft as a whisper, always planning, always watching. Unlike his brother Atlas, condemned to hold the sky, Prometheus had sided with Zeus during the war, earning a place in the new world. Below the gods, mortals lived in a primitive state, huddled in caves, their lives cold and dark. They had no fire, no way to cook food or warm their homes, their days passing in quiet hardship. Prometheus, with his gentle compassion, looked upon them and saw potential, like seeds waiting for sunlight. He believed humans could rise beyond their simple existence, crafting tools, building homes, and telling stories under the stars. But Zeus, in his measured wisdom, withheld fire from mortals, deeming them unworthy of such power, their lives better kept humble and unlit. Prometheus, undeterred, devised a quiet plan. On a still night, he climbed the slopes of Mount Olympus, his steps soft against the rocky paths. At the heaven's edge, he found the chariot of the sun, driven by Helios, its flames burning with a gentle, golden glow. With a reed plucked from a riverbank, Prometheus touched its tip to the sun's fire, capturing a spark as small as a firefly. He descended carefully, cradling the glowing ember, its warmth a secret held close. This act, simple yet bold, was a defiance of Zeus, a spark that would change the world. Prometheus gifted fire to humanity, teaching them to kindle flames from wood and stone. The first fires flickered in mortal camps, their light casting soft shadows on cave walls. With fire, humans cooked grains and meat, their meals no longer raw but warm and nourishing. They forged tools from bronze, their hammers ringing softly in the night. They gathered around hearths, their voices weaving stories, their lives illuminated by the gentle glow. Fire brought warmth, safety, and progress, transforming mortals from mere survivors into creators. Zeus, from his lofty throne, noticed the fires dotting the earth, their light like stars fallen to the ground. His calm gaze turned stern, for Prometheus had defied his will. Fire, a divine gift, was now in mortal hands, and Zeus saw in it the seeds of hubris. He summoned Prometheus to Olympus, his voice steady but unyielding. Prometheus stood before him, his expression quiet but resolute, knowing the consequences of his act. Zeus, in his measured judgment, devised a punishment to match the Titan's defiance, one that would unfold slowly, like the turning of seasons. Prometheus was bound to a rock on a remote mountain in the Caucasus, his wrists and ankles chained with unbreakable bronze. The chains, forged by Hephaestus, the god of craftsmanship, gleamed faintly in the dawn light, their weight a constant reminder of Zeus's authority. Each day, an eagle was sent to peck at Prometheus's liver, its beak tearing slowly, the pain sharp but steady. Each night his liver regrew, the cycle repeating in a rhythm as relentless as the tides. Prometheus endured, his suffering a quiet testament to his love for humanity, his foresight knowing the cost from the start. Yet this was not the only consequence. Zeus, seeking to balance humanity's newfound power, ordered the creation of Pandora, the first woman. Hephaestus shaped her from clay, her form as smooth as a river stone, and the gods bestowed gifts upon her. Athena gave wisdom, Aphrodite beauty, and Hermes curiosity. Her name, meaning all gifted, reflected her divine creation. She was sent to earth with a sealed jar, or pythos, containing unseen forces. In her curiosity, Pandora opened the jar, releasing evils into the world. Disease, sorrow, and strife, which drifted silently across the land. Only hope remained inside, a faint light trapped beneath the lid, offering mortals a quiet solace. Prometheus's punishment was not eternal. Centuries later, the hero Heracles, during his 12 labors, climbed the Caucasus mountain. With his bow, he shot the eagle, its form falling silently into the mist. He broke Prometheus's chains, their bronze snapping with a soft clang, freeing the Titan from his torment. Prometheus, his body worn but spirit unbroken, walked free, his sacrifice a quiet legend among gods and mortals. Zeus allowed this, his anger softened by time, though the story of Prometheus remained a cautionary tale of defiance and consequence. This myth, with its gentle rhythm, echoes the Colosseum's own story of creation and endurance. Like Prometheus's fire, the Colosseum was a gift to the people, built to illuminate Rome's glory. Its stones, like Prometheus's rock, have endured suffering, earthquakes, looting, and time's slow wear, yet stand resilient. The tale of Prometheus teaches sacrifice for progress, a theme mirrored in the Colosseum's transformation from arena to monument, its purpose shifting to enlighten the modern world. The myth also reflects the Greek view of balance. Prometheus's gift brought light but also suffering, just as the Colosseum's spectacles brought joy and cruelty. The gods, like Rome's emperors, wielded power with calm authority, their decisions shaping the world below. The story's slow unfolding, with its cycles of creation, defiance, and redemption, invites us to ponder humanity's place in a vast, divine order. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Pandora in greater depth, delving into her creation, her jar, and the quiet hope she left behind. For now, let the soft glow of Prometheus's fire settle over you, like a hearth warming a silent night. Let us drift deeper into the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the quiet tale of Pandora, the first woman created by the gods. Her story, born from Zeus's command and tied to Prometheus's defiance, unfolds with the gentle pace of a river finding its course. Imagine a world newly lit by human fires, where curiosity and consequence weave together in a delicate balance. This myth, with its serene rhythm, carries us through the creation of Pandora, the opening of her jar, and the faint hope left behind, a calming thread in the tapestry of Greek mythology. After Prometheus gifted fire to mortals, defying Zeus's will, the king of the gods sought to restore balance. Fire had brought warmth and progress to humanity, but Zeus, in his measured wisdom, saw the need for a counterweight. He called upon the gods to create a being who would bring both beauty and complexity to the world. Hephaestus, the god of craftsmanship, was tasked with shaping this new figure from the earth itself. In a quiet workshop on Olympus, he molded clay with steady hands, forming a woman as smooth and perfect as a polished stone, her features serene under the soft glow of divine light. This woman was named Pandora, meaning all-gifted, for each god bestowed a gift upon her. Athena, goddess of wisdom, granted her a calm intellect, teaching her to weave and tend the hearth. Aphrodite, goddess of love, gave her beauty that shimmered like dawn on a still lake. Hermes, the messenger god, gifted her curiosity, a spark as gentle yet restless as a breeze. Apollo added the gift of music, her voice soft as a lyre's strum, while the Graces adorned her with charm and elegance. Pandora was a creation of divine care, her presence both enchanting and tranquil, a figure designed to captivate mortals. Zeus, with his steady gaze, had a purpose beyond beauty. He intended Pandora as a gift to humanity, but one that carried consequences for Prometheus's act. She was sent to Earth, to the house of Epimetheus, Prometheus's brother, whose name means afterthinker. Unlike his foresighted sibling, Epimetheus acted without caution, his heart open and trusting. When Pandora arrived, her beauty and grace won him over, and he welcomed her without hesitation, their union marked by a quiet joy under the stars. With Pandora came a sealed jar, or pythos, crafted by Hephaestus, its clay surface smooth and unadorned. Zeus had filled it with unseen forces, their nature hidden even from Pandora. He instructed her never to open it, a command delivered with calm authority. The jar stood in their home, its presence a silent mystery, its lid sealed with wax. Yet Hermes's gift of curiosity stirred in Pandora's heart like a soft ripple on a still pond. Day after day she passed the jar, her thoughts lingering on its contents, her fingers brushing its cool surface. One quiet evening, as the world slept under a blanket of stars, Pandora's curiosity grew too strong. She approached the jar, her movements slow and deliberate, as if drawn by an unseen thread. With a gentle touch, she lifted the lid, breaking the wax seal. From within, a rush of unseen forces escaped, silent but swift, like a sigh released into the night. These were the evils of the world: disease, sorrow, greed, and strife, set free to wander among mortals. They drifted across the earth, their presence as soft as shadows, bringing hardship to human lives. Pandora, startled, closed the lid quickly, but not before nearly all had escaped. Only one thing remained inside, caught beneath the lid: hope, a faint, shimmering light, delicate as a firefly's glow. This hope, though small, became humanity's quiet solace, a gentle force to counter the evils now loose in the world. Pandora's act, born of curiosity, was not one of malice but of inevitability, a moment that shaped the human condition with its blend of struggle and resilience. The gods watched from Olympus, their reactions as varied as their natures. Zeus, his purpose fulfilled, saw the balance restored. Humans now had fire's warmth, but also the weight of suffering. Athena and Aphrodite, who had shaped Pandora's gifts, felt a quiet sympathy, while Hermes, ever mischievous, found amusement in the outcome. Epimetheus, though dismayed, stood by Pandora, their bond unbroken despite the jar's consequences. Prometheus, still chained to his rock in the Caucasus, heard of Pandora's act, his foresight perhaps anticipating this turn in humanity's story. This myth, with its slow unfolding, carries lessons of curiosity and consequence. Pandora's jar, often miscalled a box in later retellings, is a symbol of the delicate line between knowledge and chaos. The evils released were not loud or violent, but quiet forces that settled into human lives, much like the gradual decay of the Colosseum's stones. Hope, left behind, mirrors the Colosseum's endurance, a faint but persistent light amid ruin. The myth reflects the Greek view of balance, where gifts come with costs, and every action ripples through the world. Pandora herself is a figure of quiet complexity. Neither villain nor hero, she embodies human curiosity. Her act a moment of innocent exploration with lasting impact. Her creation by the gods parallels the Colosseum's construction, a deliberate act of divine, or imperial, will, designed to shape the world below. Just as the Colosseum's arches were built to awe, Pandora was crafted to enchant. Yet both brought unforeseen challenges to those who followed. The story also ties to the Greek understanding of mortality. Fire, given by Prometheus, elevated humans, but Pandora's jar reminded them of their fragility. The Colosseum, too, was a stage for human triumphs and tragedies, its games a celebration of strength and a reminder of death. Both myths and monument speak to the human struggle, a quiet dance between ambition and limitation. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of the 12 labors of Heracles, the hero who freed Prometheus and faced trials that tested his strength and spirit. For now, let the soft light of Pandora's hope settle over you, like a star glimmering in a quiet night. Let us glide further into the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the tranquil tale of Heracles, the greatest hero of Greek mythology, known to the Romans as Hercules. His story, marked by strength, endurance, and redemption, unfolds with the steady rhythm of a river, carving its path through stone. Imagine a world where gods and mortals intertwine, where trials test the spirit, and where quiet triumphs shine through hardship. This myth, with its gentle cadence, carries us through the 12 labors of Heracles, a journey of atonement and heroism, woven into the serene fabric of Greek mythology. Heracles was born of divine and mortal blood, the son of Zeus and Alcmene, a mortal woman from Thebes. His birth stirred unrest, for Hera, Zeus's wife, despised him as a symbol of her husband's infidelity. Heracles grew strong and brave, his muscles like the roots of an ancient tree, his heart steady yet burdened. As a young man, he was driven to madness by Hera's wrath, a quiet curse that clouded his mind. In this fog, he committed a terrible act, harming his family, and awoke to a grief as heavy as stone. Seeking redemption, he turned to the Oracle of Delphi, whose gentle voice spoke through the priestess. To atone, Heracles must serve King Eurystheus of Mycenae and complete 12 labors, tasks designed to test his strength and spirit. The first labor was to slay the Nemean lion, a beast with a hide impervious to weapons, roaming the hills of Nemea. Heracles approached with calm resolve, his steps soft on the forest floor. Finding the lion in its cave, he wrestled it with his bare hands, his arms locking around its neck in a slow, steady grip. The lion's roars faded into silence as Heracles choked it, his strength a quiet force. He skinned the beast with its own claw, draping the golden hide over his shoulders, a symbol of his triumph that glowed softly in the sunlight. The second labor was the Hydra of Lerna, a serpent-like creature with many heads, living in a swamp's murky waters. Each time a head was cut, 2 more grew back, a relentless challenge. Heracles, with his nephew Iolaus, approached under a gray sky, their torches casting gentle flickers on the water. As Heracles severed heads with his sword, Iolaus seared the stumps with fire, preventing regrowth. The final head, immortal, was buried under a rock, its venom preserved in Heracles's arrows, a quiet reminder of the labor's cost. The third labor was to capture the Ceryneian hind, a sacred deer of Artemis with golden antlers, swift as a breeze. Heracles pursued it for a year, his steps patient across forests and plains. He caught it gently, without harm, under a moonlit sky, carrying it to Eurystheus with care, its antlers gleaming softly. Artemis, watching, approved his reverence, her presence a calm blessing over the scene. The fourth labor was the Erymanthian boar, a massive creature terrorizing the slopes of Mount Erymanthus. Heracles drove it from its lair with shouts, chasing it into deep snow where it slowed. He bound it with ropes, its struggles fading into stillness, and carried it to Mycenae, its weight heavy but his steps steady under a winter sky. The fifth labor was to clean the Augean stables, home to thousands of cattle, untouched for years, their filth a daunting task. Heracles, with quiet ingenuity, diverted 2 rivers, Alpheus and Peneus, their waters flowing gently through the stables, washing them clean in a single day. The task, though humble, shone with his resourcefulness, the river's soft rush a testament to his calm resolve. The sixth labor was to slay the Stymphalian birds, man-eating creatures with bronze beaks nesting in a marsh. Heracles, aided by Athena, used a bronze rattle to startle them into flight, their wings rustling like leaves. With his venom-tipped arrows he shot them down, their forms falling silently into the reeds, the marsh returning to quiet under a cloudy sky. The seventh labor was to capture the Cretan bull, a magnificent beast sacred to Poseidon. Heracles sailed to Crete, his ship gliding over calm waves. He wrestled the bull to the ground, its strength yielding to his steady grip, and brought it to Eurystheus, its horns catching the soft light of dawn. The eighth labor was the horses of Diomedes, savage mares that fed on human flesh in Thrace. Heracles tamed them after a quiet struggle, binding their muzzles and leading them away, their hooves muffled on the dusty road. He delivered them to Mycenae, their wildness calmed, the horizon glowing faintly with sunset. The ninth labor was to obtain the girdle of Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. Heracles traveled to their land, where Hippolyta, moved by his calm presence, offered the girdle willingly. But Hera, stirring discord, sparked a battle. Heracles, with steady resolve, defended himself, securing the girdle and departing under a somber sky. The 10th labor was to steal the cattle of Geryon, a 3-bodied giant on the island of Erythea. Heracles crossed the sea in a golden cup lent by Helios, its edges glowing softly. He slew Geryon and his herdsmen, driving the cattle back to Mycenae, their hooves plodding steadily across distant plains. The 11th labor was to fetch the apples of the Hesperides, golden fruits guarded by nymphs and a dragon. Heracles, after a long journey, convinced Atlas to retrieve them, holding the sky in his place, its weight pressing gently on his shoulders. With the apples secured, he returned, their golden glow faint in the twilight. The 12th labor was to capture Cerberus, the 3-headed dog guarding the underworld. Heracles descended to Hades's realm, its shadows cool and quiet. With Hades's permission, he wrestled Cerberus, his strength overcoming the beast's snarls, and brought it to Eurystheus, who cowered at its sight. Heracles returned Cerberus to the underworld, the gates closing softly behind him. Through these labors, Heracles earned redemption, his trials a slow path to peace. His strength, like the Colosseum's stones, endured immense burdens, yet his story, like the arena, is one of quiet resilience. The labors reflect the Greek ideal of arete, excellence through struggle, much as the Colosseum's games celebrated human effort. Both Heracles and the Colosseum stand as symbols of overcoming hardship, their legacies etched in time. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice, a tale of love, loss, and a journey to the underworld. For now, let the steady rhythm of Heracles' labors settle over you. Like the soft tread of a hero on a quiet path, let us continue our gentle drift through the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the tender tale of Orpheus and Eurydice, a story of love, loss, and the quiet pull of the underworld. Imagine a world where music weaves through the air like a soft breeze, where devotion meets the stillness of death. This myth, with its delicate cadence, unfolds slowly, like petals falling from a fading flower, carrying us through Orpheus's song, his descent, and his heartbreaking glance. Settle deeper into this serene narrative as we explore the boring yet poignant details of this timeless Greek tragedy. Orpheus was a mortal, born in Thrace with a gift that rivaled the gods. His music, played on a golden lyre given by Apollo, was as gentle as a stream over smooth stones. When he strummed, the trees swayed softly, animals gathered in quiet reverence, and rivers paused their flow to listen. His voice, soft and clear, could soothe the wildest heart or calm the fiercest storm. Orpheus's songs were not loud or boastful, but carried a quiet power, weaving love and longing into every note. Among those enchanted was Eurydice, a nymph of radiant beauty, her laughter like the rustle of leaves in a summer breeze. Orpheus and Eurydice fell in love, their bond as natural as dawn following night. They married under a canopy of stars, their vows whispered in a meadow lit by fireflies. The gods themselves blessed their union, with Hymen, the god of marriage, attending, though his torch flickered dimly, a quiet omen of sorrow to come. Their happiness was brief. One day, while Eurydice danced in a forest glade, her steps light on the grass, she was pursued by Aristaeus, a minor god seeking her affection. Fleeing his advances, she stepped on a viper hidden in the reeds. Its bite was swift, its venom silent, and Eurydice fell, her life slipping away like a fading melody. Orpheus found her, her body still under the shade of an oak, and his grief was a quiet weight, heavier than any stone. Unable to accept her loss, Orpheus resolved to retrieve Eurydice from the underworld. With his lyre in hand, he descended to the river Styx, its dark waters lapping gently against the shore. Charon, the ferryman, stood silent, his oar resting in the still current. Orpheus played a mournful tune, its notes soft and pleading, and Charon, moved by the music, ferried him across without payment, the boat gliding smoothly through the mist. In the underworld, ruled by Hades and Persephone, Orpheus walked through caverns of shadow, his lyre's gentle strums echoing off stone walls. Cerberus, the three-headed dog, growled softly but lay down, lulled by the music's calm. Shades, souls of the dead, gathered, their whispers hushed, as Orpheus sang of love and loss. Even the Furies, fierce deities of vengeance, paused, their eyes softened by tears, a rare moment of stillness in their eternal rage. Before Hades and Persephone, seated on ebony thrones, Orpheus pleaded his case. His song was not loud but piercing, a quiet hymn of devotion that spoke of Eurydice's beauty and their unbreakable bond. Persephone, touched by memories of her own love, urged Hades to show mercy. Hades, his expression stern yet calm, agreed to release Eurydice, but with a condition. Orpheus must ascend to the upper world without looking back at her until they were fully out of the underworld. If he turned, she would be lost forever. Orpheus agreed, his heart steady but heavy. Eurydice followed, her footsteps silent, her presence a faint warmth behind him. They climbed the long, winding path, the darkness thick, the air cool and still. Orpheus played his lyre to guide them, its notes a soft thread in the gloom. But as they neared the light, doubt crept into his mind, quiet as a shadow. Had Hades tricked him? Was Eurydice truly there? Just as sunlight touched his face, Orpheus turned, his eyes searching for her. Eurydice stood there, her form pale but radiant, her eyes meeting his for a fleeting moment. But the underworld's law was unbreakable. She faded, drawn back into the shadows, her hand reaching out in a silent farewell. Orpheus's cry was soft, swallowed by the cavern's echo, as Eurydice vanished forever. He emerged alone, the sunlight harsh, the world emptier than before. Orpheus wandered, his lyre now heavy with sorrow. His songs turned mournful, their melodies drifting over hills and rivers. He shunned all company, his heart bound to Eurydice's memory. In time, Thracian women, enraged by his rejection, or driven by the wild rites of Dionysus, tore him apart, their frenzy a stark contrast to his quiet grief. His head and lyre floated down the Hebrus River, still singing softly until they reached the sea. The Muses, mourning their poet, buried his remains, and Zeus placed his lyre among the stars, a constellation glowing faintly in the night sky. This myth, with its gentle tragedy, mirrors the Colosseum's own story of beauty and loss. Like Orpheus's music, the Colosseum's spectacles captivated hearts, yet both faced moments of irreversible change. Eurydice's fading, the arena's collapse. The tale reflects the Greek view of love as both divine and fragile, a force that drives mortals to defy even death, yet bows to fate's quiet power. Orpheus's journey to the underworld parallels the Colosseum's hypogum, a hidden world beneath the arena where life and death intertwined. His music, calming beasts and gods, echoes the Colosseum's ability to unite crowds in awe. Both stories speak to the human longing for connection, whether through love or shared spectacle, and the inevitable sorrow of loss. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur, a tale of courage, cunning, and a labyrinth's quiet depths. For now, let the soft notes of Orpheus's lyre linger in your mind, like a melody fading into a peaceful night. Let us continue our tranquil journey through the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the quiet tale of Theseus and the Minotaur, a story of courage, cunning, and a labyrinth's shadowed depths. Imagine a world of ancient Crete, where a monstrous creature lurks beneath a palace, and a hero rises to face it with steady resolve. This myth unfolds with the gentle pace of footsteps echoing in stone corridors, carrying us through Theseus's quest and the threads of fate that guide him. Settle deeper into this serene narrative as we explore the boring yet captivating details of this classic Greek saga. Theseus was the Prince of Athens, a young man of strength and wisdom, his heart as calm as a still sea. Born to King Aegeus, he grew up in Troezen, raised by his mother, Aethra, until he was ready to claim his birthright. To prove his worth, he journeyed to Athens, lifting a boulder to retrieve his father's sword and sandals, his steps steady across rugged hills. In Athens, he found a city burdened by a grim tribute, a debt rooted in a quiet tragedy of the past. Years earlier, Minos, king of Crete, had lost his son Androgeus, killed in Athens during a contest. In retribution, Minos, favored by Zeus, demanded a heavy price. Every 9 years, Athens must send 7 young men and 7 maidens to Crete. There, they were sent into the labyrinth, a vast maze beneath Minos's palace at Knossos, designed by the craftsman Daedalus. Within its twisting paths dwelt the Minotaur, a creature half man, half bull, born of a union between Minos's wife, Pasiphae, and a sacred bull, a curse from Poseidon. The Minotaur devoured the youths, its roars muffled by the labyrinth's stone walls. Theseus, hearing of this tribute, volunteered to join the next group, his resolve as firm as the cliffs of Athens. Aegeus, his father, pleaded with him to stay, but Theseus's heart was set. He sailed to Crete on a ship with black sails, promising to raise white sails on his return if he survived, a quiet signal of hope. The journey was calm, the sea lapping gently against the hull, the stars above guiding their path. In Crete, Theseus and the youths were presented to Minos, whose palace gleamed under the Mediterranean sun. Minos's daughter, Ariadne, saw Theseus and felt a quiet stir of love, her heart drawn to his steady gaze. She sought out Daedalus, the labyrinth's creator, and asked for a way to save him. Daedalus, with a craftsman's calm, gave her a ball of thread, its fibers soft but strong. Ariadne met Theseus in secret, her voice low, and gave him the thread, instructing him to tie it to the labyrinth's entrance and unroll it as he went, a lifeline to guide him back. Theseus entered the labyrinth at dusk, the stone walls cool and silent, their shadows stretching long. He tied the thread to the entrance, its end secured to a pillar, and stepped into the maze, the ball unraveling in his hand. The corridors twisted and turned, their paths a puzzle of stone, the air heavy with the Minotaur's distant breath. Theseus moved slowly, his steps deliberate, his senses attuned to the faintest sounds, a drip of water, a shift of air. Deep within, he found the Minotaur, its bull head lowered, its human body muscled and tense. The creature charged, its hooves scraping the stone, but Theseus, with quiet strength, dodged and grappled it to the ground. Using his fists, or, in some tellings, a sword, he struck the Minotaur down, its body falling still, the labyrinth returning to silence. Theseus followed the thread back, its path a steady guide through the maze, emerging under a starlit sky. Ariadne waited, her relief as soft as a sigh. Theseus, with the Athenian youths, fled Crete with her, their ship slipping quietly into the night. They stopped at Naxos, where, in some versions, Theseus left Ariadne, either by choice or divine will, her form fading on the shore as Dionysus claimed her as his bride. Theseus sailed on, but in his exhaustion, he forgot to raise the white sails, leaving the black ones unfurled. Aegeus, watching from Athens's cliffs, saw the dark sails and, believing his son dead, leapt into the sea, which now bears his name, the Aegean. Theseus returned to Athens as king, his triumph tempered by loss, his heart heavy but resolute. He ruled with wisdom, uniting Attica's tribes, his leadership as steady as the tides. The myth of the Minotaur, with its quiet heroism, reflects the Greek ideal of cunning over brute force, much like the Colosseum's gladiators, who relied on skill as much as strength. The labyrinth's stone walls echo the Colosseum's hypogeum, both hidden spaces where fate was decided. The story also speaks to sacrifice. Theseus's journey, like the Colosseum's spectacles, was a test of survival, where victory came at a cost. Ariadne's love, Aegeus's life. The thread, a simple tool, mirrors the Colosseum's engineering, where small innovations like pulleys or arches enabled grand feats. Both myth and monument highlight human ingenuity, navigating the maze of challenges with calm determination. The Minotaur, a creature of shame hidden by Minos, parallels the Colosseum's darker side. Its executions and animal hunts, spectacles that thrilled yet concealed cruelty. Theseus's triumph, like the Colosseum's endurance, is a quiet victory, a testament to overcoming the monstrous with steady resolve. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Icarus and Daedalus, a tale of ambition, flight, and a fall into the sea's quiet embrace. For now, let the soft thread of Ariadne's gift linger in your mind, like a path leading through a silent maze. Let us glide deeper into the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the quiet tale of Icarus and Daedalus, a story of ingenuity, ambition, and the gentle pull of gravity. Imagine a sunlit island where wings of wax and feathers promise freedom, only to meet the sea's calm embrace. This myth, with its serene rhythm, unfolds slowly, like waves lapping against a shore, carrying us through Daedalus's craft and Icarus's flight. Settle deeper into this tranquil narrative as we explore the boring yet poignant details of this timeless Greek cautionary tale. Daedalus was a master craftsman of Athens, his hands skilled in shaping stone, wood, and metal, his mind as sharp as a polished blade, his creations, statues that seemed to breathe, tools that eased labor, were renowned across Greece. Yet his genius carried a shadow of envy. When his nephew Talos, a gifted apprentice, invented the saw, Daedalus, in a moment of quiet jealousy, caused his fall from the Acropolis. Banished for this act, Daedalus fled to Crete, his heart heavy but his skill undimmed, seeking refuge under King Minos. In Crete, Daedalus served Minos, crafting wonders for his palace at Knossos. He designed the labyrinth, its stone corridors a maze of silent twists, to confine the Minotaur, the monstrous offspring of Minos's wife, Pasiphae. His work was meticulous, each stone laid with care, the walls echoing with the soft hum of his tools. But Minos, wary of Daedalus's knowledge, refused to let him leave, fearing the secrets of the labyrinth might spread. Daedalus and his young son, Icarus, were confined to the island, their freedom a distant dream under Crete's clear skies. Daedalus, ever resourceful, turned to the skies for escape. In a quiet workshop overlooking the sea, he gathered feathers from gulls and wax from beehives, his hands moving with steady precision. He crafted 2 pairs of wings, one for himself and one for Icarus, binding feathers to wooden frames with wax and thread. The wings were delicate, their feathers gleaming softly in the sunlight, each one placed with the care of a weaver's stitch. Daedalus worked by lamplight, his focus calm, his thoughts on freedom. When the wings were complete, Daedalus taught Icarus how to use them, his voice low and measured. He warned his son to fly neither too low, where the sea's damp might weigh the feathers, nor too high, where the sun's heat could melt the wax. The path was narrow, a balance as delicate as a thread stretched across a loom. Icarus, young and eager, nodded, his eyes bright with the promise of flight, the sea below sparkling like a field of stars. At dawn, father and son stood on a cliff, the breeze cool and gentle. They strapped on their wings, the feathers rustling softly, and leapt into the air. Daedalus flew first, his movements steady, his wings catching the wind with quiet grace. Icarus followed, his flight wobbly but growing smoother, the sea below a calm expanse of blue. They soared over Crete, the island shrinking beneath them, the palace of Knossos, a distant speck under the morning light. As they flew, Daedalus kept a steady course, his eyes on the horizon, his wings gliding with the rhythm of waves. But Icarus, filled with the joy of flight, began to climb higher, his laughter soft but reckless. The sun, rising in the sky, cast warm rays on his wings, its heat gentle at first, then insistent. The wax softened, droplets falling like tears into the sea. Feathers loosened, drifting away, and Icarus, unaware, soared closer to the sun, his heart lifted by the thrill of freedom. Daedalus called out, his voice calm but urgent, but Icarus was too high, lost in the sky's embrace. The wings faltered, the wax melting fully, and Icarus fell, his form tumbling silently through the air. He struck the sea, its waters closing over him with a soft ripple, the waves swallowing his final cry. Daedalus, turning to see his son gone, landed on a nearby shore, his wings heavy with grief. The sea now named Icarian in memory of his loss. Daedalus continued alone, flying to Sicily, where he found refuge under King Cocalus. He crafted new wonders, his hands steady despite his sorrow, building temples and machines with quiet precision. Minos, pursuing him, arrived in Sicily, but Daedalus, with cunning, ensured his safety, and Minos met his end through a trap of scalding water, a silent justice. Daedalus lived out his days, his creations enduring, his heart forever marked by Icarus's fall. This myth, with its gentle tragedy, echoes the Colosseum's own story of ambition and consequence. Like Daedalus's wings, the Colosseum was a marvel of ingenuity, its arches and pulleys lifting Rome to new heights. Icarus's fall mirrors the Colosseum's missing half, a collapse born of overreaching, whether toward the sun or through centuries of neglect. Both stories teach balance, the need to temper ambition with caution, a lesson carved in stone and sea. The tale also reflects the Greek view of hubris, the pride that defies divine limits. Icarus's flight, like the Colosseum's spectacles, soared to great heights but invited ruin. Daedalus's craftsmanship, like the Roman engineers, skill was a quiet force, creating wonders that outlasted their makers. The Colosseum's hypogeum, with its hidden mechanisms, parallels the labyrinth, both spaces of ingenuity and confinement. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Persephone and Hades, a tale of seasons, love, and the underworld's quiet embrace. For now, let the soft rustle of Icarus's wings linger in your mind, like feathers falling gently to a silent sea. Let us continue our serene voyage through the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the gentle tale of Persephone and Hades, a story of love, seasons, and the quiet balance between life and death. Imagine a world where fields bloom under sunlight and then fade into shadow, guided by a divine cycle as soft as a whisper. This myth, with its tranquil rhythm, unfolds like the slow turning of seasons, carrying us through Persephone's abduction, her time in the underworld, and the hope of spring's return. Settle deeper into this calm narrative as we explore the boring yet profound details of this timeless Greek myth. Persephone was the daughter of Demeter, goddess of the harvest, and Zeus, king of the gods. Her beauty was as radiant as a meadow in bloom, her laughter like the rustle of wheat under a summer breeze. She spent her days in fields, gathering flowers with nymphs, her steps light on the earth. Her mother, Demeter, watched over her with a love as steady as the seasons, ensuring the fields bore fruit, the grain grew tall, and the world thrived in quiet abundance. One day, as Persephone wandered a meadow near Sicily, picking narcissus flowers, the earth trembled softly beneath her. Hades, god of the underworld, had seen her from his shadowy realm, his heart stirred by her grace. Drawn by a love as deep as his domain, he emerged in a chariot drawn by black horses, their hooves muffled on the grass. With gentle strength he took Persephone, the earth opening to swallow them, closing silently behind. The meadow fell still, the flowers drooping, as if mourning her absence. In the underworld, Persephone found a realm of quiet shadows, its caverns lit by faint, glowing gems. Hades, stern but not cruel, offered her a throne beside his love expressed in calm gestures, a crown of obsidian, a garden of pale asphodels. Persephone, though homesick for the sunlit world, felt the weight of his devotion, her heart softening like earth after rain. Yet she longed for the fields above, her thoughts drifting to her mother's warmth. Above, Demeter searched tirelessly, her grief a heavy cloak. Without her care, the earth withered. Fields turned barren, trees shed leaves, and a chill settled over the land. Mortals starved, their prayers rising softly to the gods. Demeter, wandering in disguise, learned of her daughter's fate from Hecate, goddess of crossroads, whose torch cast a gentle glow. She appealed to Zeus, her voice steady but pleading, demanding Persephone's return. Zeus, mediating between earth and underworld, sent Hermes, the messenger god, to negotiate with Hades. The underworld's gates opened silently, and Hermes descended, his winged sandals gliding over the Styx. Hades agreed to release Persephone, his love yielding to divine will, but with a quiet condition. Before leaving, Persephone ate a few pomegranate seeds, some say 4, others 6, their red juice staining her lips. This act, small but binding, tied her to the underworld, for eating its food meant she could not fully leave. Hermes led Persephone upward, her steps light but hesitant, the sunlight growing brighter with each step. When she emerged, Demeter ran to her, their embrace warm as a spring dawn. The earth bloomed again, flowers unfolding, fields turning green under a gentle sun. But the pomegranate seeds held power. Zeus decreed that Persephone must spend part of each year, 1/3 or half, depending on the tale, in the underworld with Hades, and the rest with Demeter above. This cycle became the seasons. When Persephone is with her mother, spring and summer flourish. When she returns to Hades, autumn and winter cloak the earth in quiet rest. Persephone became queen of the underworld, her presence a calming force beside Hades. Her dual role bridged life and death, her grace softening the underworld's gloom. She tended its souls with care, her asphodel gardens blooming in pale beauty, a quiet mirror of the fields above. Demeter, though grieving each autumn, accepted the cycle, her love for Persephone as steady as the harvest. This myth, with its gentle rhythm, reflects the Greek understanding of nature's balance. The seasons, born from divine compromise, mirror the Colosseum's own cycles of glory and decay. Persephone's descent parallels the Colosseum's hypogum, a hidden world beneath the surface, where life and death intertwined. Her return, like the Colosseum's restoration, brings renewal, a quiet promise of life amid ruin. The story also speaks to love's complexity. Hades' abduction, though forceful, was rooted in devotion, much like the Colosseum's spectacles, which thrilled yet concealed darker truths. Persephone's pomegranate seeds, a small choice with lasting impact, echo the Colosseum's enduring scars. Its missing wall, its pockmarked stones, small acts that shaped its fate. Both myth and monument teach acceptance of cycles, where loss and renewal walk hand in hand. Persephone's tale also ties to Greek rituals, the Eleusinian mysteries, secret ceremonies honoring Demeter and Persephone, promised initiates hope beyond death, much like the Colosseum's Christian consecration offered solace to later generations. Both stories, rooted in sacred spaces, speak to humanity's search for meaning in life's quiet transitions. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Athena and Arachne, a tale of skill, pride, and a spider's delicate web. For now, let the soft bloom of Persephone's spring linger in your mind, like flowers unfolding under a gentle dawn. Let us drift further into the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the quiet tale of Athena and Arachne, a story of skill, pride, and the delicate threads of fate. Imagine a world where a mortal's talent challenges a goddess, where a loom's gentle rhythm weaves a tapestry of defiance and transformation. This myth unfolds with the soft cadence of a shuttle passing through warp, carrying us through Arachne's artistry and Athena's judgment. Settle deeper into this serene narrative as we explore the boring yet profound details of this timeless Greek cautionary tale. Athena, goddess of wisdom and crafts, was revered across Greece for her mastery of weaving, strategy, and war. Her hands, steady as stone, wove tapestries of divine perfection, their patterns glowing with the clarity of a still lake. Mortals honored her in temples, offering looms and threads as tributes, their prayers rising softly like incense. Among them was Arachne, a young woman from Lydia, whose skill at weaving rivaled the gods. Her fingers moved with quiet precision, creating tapestries so fine they seemed to shimmer with life, each thread placed with the care of a poet's word. Arachne's talent was known far beyond her village. People gathered to watch her work, her loom humming softly under a shaded olive tree. Her tapestries depicted flowers that seemed to sway, rivers that flowed, and gods in moments of quiet beauty. Yet, Arachne's heart held a spark of pride, as bright and reckless as a flame. When villagers praised her, comparing her skill to Athena's, she scoffed, her voice calm but bold, claiming she surpassed the goddess herself. Word of her boast reached Olympus, stirring Athena's steady gaze. Athena, curious rather than angry, descended to Lydia disguised as an old woman, her gray hair tucked under a simple cloak. She approached Arachne at her loom, the air warm with the scent of wool and wood. In a gentle voice, she advised humility, warning that no mortal could outshine a god. Arachne, unyielding, dismissed the advice, her hands never pausing as she wove. She challenged Athena to a contest, her words sharp but steady, inviting the goddess to prove her superiority. Athena, casting off her disguise, revealed her divine form, her owl perched nearby, its eyes gleaming in the soft light. The contest began in the village square, under a sky as clear as a polished mirror. 2 looms were set, their wooden frames sturdy, their threads gleaming in the sunlight. Athena wove first, her movements fluid, her tapestry a serene vision of the gods' glory. She depicted their triumphs, Zeus's thunderbolts, Poseidon's waves, her own olive tree gifted to Athens, each scene framed by borders of peace and order. The colors blended softly, like dawn fading into day, a testament to her divine skill. Arachne's tapestry was bolder, its threads vibrant yet precise. She wove scenes of the gods' flaws, Zeus's deceptions, Poseidon's tempests, Apollo's failures, each image a quiet critique of divine arrogance. Her work was flawless, the figures so lifelike they seemed to breathe, the colors shimmering like dew on leaves. Villagers watched in silence, their awe as still as a held breath, for Arachne's skill matched, perhaps even surpassed, Athena's. Athena inspected Arachne's tapestry, her expression calm but her heart stirred. The mortal's work was not only perfect but defiant, mocking the gods with its truth. In a moment of quiet wrath, Athena tore Arachne's tapestry, its threads scattering like fallen petals. Arachne, unbroken, stood firm, her pride a steady flame. But Athena, goddess of wisdom, chose a punishment as deliberate as her craft. She touched Arachne's forehead, and the mortal began to shrink, her form twisting into a small, delicate shape. A spider, its legs fine as threads, its body suspended from a silken line. Arachne, now a spider, wove webs of intricate beauty, her skill preserved in a new form. Her descendants, the arachnids, spin webs that glisten in the morning dew, a quiet legacy of her talent and hubris. Athena returned to Olympus, her lesson delivered, her tapestry a reminder of divine authority. The villagers, hushed, spoke of Arachne's fate, their looms falling silent under the weight of the story. This myth, with its gentle rhythm, mirrors the Colosseum's own tale of skill and consequence. Arachne's weaving, like the Colosseum's arches, was a marvel of precision, yet both faced the limits of mortal ambition. Athena's judgment, calm but firm, echoes the Colosseum's emperors, who decided fates with a gesture. The spider's web, delicate yet enduring, parallels the Colosseum's stones, weathered but standing, a testament to creation amid ruin. The story reflects the Greek view of hubris, the pride that invites divine correction, much like the Colosseum's fall from glory to decay. Arachne's transformation, like the arena's missing half, is a quiet reminder of boundaries between mortal and divine, spectacle and endurance. Both myth and monument teach humility, the need to honor the forces greater than ourselves, whether gods or time. Athena's role as patron of crafts ties her to the Colosseum's builders, whose engineering wove stone into a lasting marvel. Arachne's webs, intricate and fleeting, echo the Colosseum's hypogeum, where hidden mechanisms created fleeting spectacles. Both stories celebrate creation, yet warn of its costs, a balance as delicate as a spider's thread. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Apollo and Daphne, a tale of pursuit, transformation, and the quiet beauty of a laurel tree. For now, let the soft weave of Arachne's web linger in your mind, like dew glistening on a silent morning. Let us continue our serene journey through the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the gentle tale of Apollo and Daphne, a story of pursuit, transformation, and the quiet beauty of nature. Imagine a world where a god's desire meets a nymph's resolve, where a chase ends in the stillness of a tree's embrace. This myth unfolds with the soft rhythm of leaves stirring in a breeze, carrying us through Apollo's longing and Daphne's metamorphosis. Settle deeper into this tranquil narrative as we explore the boring yet poignant details of this timeless Greek myth. Apollo, god of the sun, music, and prophecy, was a figure of radiant beauty, his presence as warm as a summer dawn. His golden lyre sang melodies that calmed rivers, and his oracle at Delphi whispered truths to mortals. Yet his heart was not immune to desire. The story begins with a quiet rivalry, sparked by Eros, the god of love. Apollo, proud of his skill with a bow, mocked Eros's archery, calling his arrows childish. Eros, with a mischievous yet calm smile, chose to prove his power, crafting 2 arrows, one of gold to kindle love, and one of lead to inspire rejection. Eros aimed his golden arrow at Apollo, piercing his heart with a love as sudden as a sunrise. The object of his affection was Daphne, a river nymph, daughter of the river god Peneus. Daphne was as graceful as a reed in still water, her beauty serene, her spirit free. She roamed forests and meadows, her footsteps light, her heart devoted to Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, who favored chastity. Eros struck Daphne with his leaden arrow, filling her with a quiet aversion to love, her soul as untouched as a mountain spring. Apollo, consumed by longing, pursued Daphne through the forests of Thessaly. His steps were swift but not harsh, his voice calling her name with a warmth that echoed through the trees. Daphne, feeling only fear, fled, her movements as fluid as a stream, her hair trailing like vines. The chase was silent, save for the rustle of leaves and the soft pant of breath, a dance of desire and refusal across the sunlit glades. As Apollo drew closer, his golden light nearly touching her, Daphne's heart raced with a quiet panic. She called to her father, Peneus, or in some tales to Gaia, the Earth Mother, pleading for escape. Her words were soft, a whisper carried by the wind. The earth answered, and as Apollo reached out, Daphne's form began to change. Her feet rooted into the soil, her arms stretched into branches, and her hair sprouted into leaves. Her skin turned to bark, smooth and gray, as she became a laurel tree, its leaves glossy under the soft sunlight. Apollo, his heart heavy, stood before the tree, its branches swaying gently. He touched the bark, his fingers tracing its texture, and declared the laurel sacred to him. Its leaves, evergreen and enduring, would crown victors in his games, from poets to athletes, their triumphs marked by Daphne's quiet beauty. The laurel became a symbol of Apollo's eternal love, its presence a calm reminder of his loss and her freedom. Daphne, now a tree, stood by the river, her leaves whispering in the breeze, her roots deep in the earth. She was no longer a nymph, but a silent guardian, her transformation a balance between escape and eternity. Apollo returned to Olympus, his lyre's songs now tinged with a soft melancholy, each note a memory of Daphne's flight. Mortals, seeing the laurel, honored it in festivals, weaving its leaves into wreaths, their green shine a quiet tribute to the myth. This tale, with its gentle tragedy, mirrors the Colosseum's story of beauty and transformation. Daphne's metamorphosis, like the Colosseum's shift from arena to ruin to monument, is a quiet act of preservation, turning fleeting life into lasting symbol. Apollo's pursuit, like the Colosseum's spectacles, was a moment of intense passion, yet both ended in a stillness that endures. Leaves on a tree, stones in an arch. The myth reflects the Greek view of boundaries between divine and mortal desires. Apollo's love, though pure, overstepped, much as the Colosseum's games pushed the limits of human and animal life. Daphne's transformation, like the Colosseum's missing half, is a quiet reminder of nature's or time's power to reshape even the grandest ambitions. Both stories teach restraint, the need to honor what cannot be possessed, whether a nymph or a monument's original glory. The laurel's role as a crown of victory ties to the Colosseum's gladiators, who sought glory in the arena, their triumphs as fleeting as Apollo's chase. The Colosseum's arches, like Daphne's branches, stand as enduring symbols, weathered yet eternal. Both myth and monument speak to the human longing for permanence, whether in love or stone, and the quiet acceptance of change as we drift toward the next part. We will explore the myth of Narcissus and Echo, a tale of self-love, unrequited longing, and the faint echo of a voice in the mountains. For now, let the soft rustle of Daphne's laurel leaves linger in your mind, like a breeze through a quiet forest. Let us continue our tranquil journey through the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the gentle tale of Narcissus and Echo, a story of self-love, unrequited longing, and the faint whispers of a voice in the mountains. Imagine a world where a reflection in a pool captivates a heart, and an echo lingers in silent valleys. This myth unfolds with the soft cadence of a breeze carrying a distant call, guiding us through Narcissus's beauty and Echo's fading devotion. Settle deeper into this serene narrative as we explore the boring yet poignant details of this timeless Greek tragedy. Narcissus was a young man from Boeotia, born of the river god Cephissus and the nymph Liriope. His beauty was unmatched, his face as radiant as the moon on a still lake, his eyes clear and deep. Mortals and nymphs alike were drawn to him, their hearts stirred by his presence, yet Narcissus remained untouched, his heart as cool as a shaded spring. When Liriope asked the seer Tiresias about her son's fate, he spoke in a quiet voice. Narcissus would live long, provided he never knew himself. Echo was a mountain nymph, her voice once lively, her words a cascade of chatter. She served Hera, queen of the gods, but her talkativeness drew Hera's ire. When Hera suspected Zeus of straying, Echo's endless tales distracted her, shielding Zeus's deeds. Hera, in calm anger, cursed Echo to repeat only what others say, her own words silenced, her voice a soft reflection of others' speech. Echo wandered the forests, her presence faint, her replies a gentle mimicry of the world around her. One day, Narcissus roamed the woods, hunting with companions, his steps light on the mossy ground. Echo saw him, her heart stirred by his beauty, as if a spark had lit a quiet flame. She followed, hidden among the trees, her longing silent but deep. When Narcissus called out, "Who's there?" Echo answered, "Who's there?" her voice a soft echo, trembling with hope. He called again, intrigued, and she replied, drawing closer, her form emerging from the shadows like a dream taking shape. Narcissus saw Echo, her eyes wide with devotion, but he recoiled, his heart unmoved. "I'd rather die than be yours," he said, his voice cold but calm. Echo, heartbroken, repeated his words, "Be yours," her voice fading into the hills. She fled, her body wasting away from grief, her bones turning to stone, until only her voice remained, a faint echo lingering in caves and valleys, repeating the words of passers-by with a soft, mournful tone. Narcissus continued his solitary path, rejecting all who loved him, his beauty a shield no heart could pierce. Nemesis, the goddess of retribution, watched with a steady gaze, her sense of justice stirred by his pride. She led him to a secluded pool, its water still and clear, reflecting the sky like a polished mirror. Narcissus knelt to drink, and in the water he saw his own reflection, his face, his eyes, his perfect form. Entranced, he fell in love with the image, unaware it was himself, his heart captured by a beauty he could never hold. He spoke to the reflection, his words soft and pleading, but it only mimicked his gestures, silent and unattainable. "Why do you flee me?" he whispered, his voice trembling, the water rippling gently. He lingered by the pool, day after day, unable to leave, his body wasting as he stared, His tears fell into the water, blurring the image, and he cried out in despair, his voice echoing faintly through the trees. Echo, nearby, repeated his cries, her voice a soft shadow of his pain, a quiet companionship in their shared sorrow. Narcissus faded, his life slipping away like mist in the morning sun. Where he lay, a white flower bloomed, its petals delicate and drooping, named Narcissus in his memory. The flower stood by the pool, its reflection trembling in the water, a quiet symbol of his self-love. Echo's voice lingered in the hills, her love eternal but unseen, her echoes a gentle reminder of unrequited longing. This myth, with its serene tragedy, mirrors the Colosseum's story of beauty and loss. Narcissus's reflection, like the Colosseum's grand facade, captivated all who saw it, yet both hid a deeper emptiness. His unattainable love, the arena's fleeting spectacles, Echo's fading, like the Colosseum's missing half, is a quiet loss, a presence reduced to fragments, whether voice or stone. The tale reflects the Greek view of hubris and balance. Narcissus's self-love, like Arachne's pride, invited divine correction, much as the Colosseum's grandeur faced time's judgment. Echo's curse, silencing her voice, parallels the Colosseum's silenced crowds, both reduced to echoes of their former selves. Both stories teach the cost of fixation on self or spectacle, and the need for connection beyond the self. The Narcissus flower, like the Colosseum's enduring stones, is a lasting symbol, its beauty a quiet reminder of mortality. Echo's voice, like the Colosseum's graffiti, persists in fragments, a faint trace of lives once lived. Both myth and monument speak to the human desire to be seen, to be remembered even in the quiet of loss. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Pygmalion and Galatea, a tale of creation, love, and a statue brought to life. For now, let the soft echo of Narcissus's reflection linger in your mind, like a whisper fading into a silent valley. Let us glide further into the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the gentle tale of Pygmalion and Galatea, a story of creation, love, and the quiet miracle of a statue brought to life. Imagine a world where a sculptor's chisel shapes not just stone, but destiny, where love transforms the inanimate into the living. This myth unfolds with the soft rhythm of a hammer-tapping marble, carrying us through Pygmalion's artistry and Galatea's awakening. Settle deeper into this serene narrative as we explore the boring yet heartwarming details of this timeless Greek love story. Pygmalion was a sculptor from Cyprus, a man of quiet dedication, his hands skilled in carving stone into forms of breathtaking beauty. His workshop, filled with the scent of marble dust, was a sanctuary of creation, where statues of gods and heroes stood in silent grace. Yet Pygmalion shunned human company, disillusioned by the flaws he saw in mortals, especially the women of Cyprus, whom he found lacking in virtue. His heart, like the stone he carved, remained untouched, his days spent in the calm solitude of his craft. In his workshop, under the soft light filtering through a window, Pygmalion began his greatest work. With careful strokes, he chiseled a statue of a woman from ivory, her form as smooth as a polished seashell. He shaped her with reverence, each curve and feature crafted with a tenderness that mirrored a lover's care. Her face was serene, her eyes seeming to hold a quiet spark, her lips poised as if to speak. He named her Galatea, meaning she who is milk-white, her ivory surface glowing softly in the dawn. Pygmalion's admiration for his creation grew into love, a devotion as gentle as a breeze over a still lake. He draped Galatea in fine robes, their colors muted and soft, and adorned her with necklaces of polished shells. He brought her flowers, their petals tucked into her carved hair, and whispered to her as if she could hear, his voice low and earnest. He lay gifts at her feet, small birds, beads, and scented oils, his heart longing for her to be more than stone, to return his love. During the festival of Aphrodite, goddess of love, Pygmalion visited her temple, its air heavy with incense and the hum of prayers. Standing before her altar, he offered a quiet plea, not daring to ask for Galatea to live, but praying for a wife as perfect as his statue. His words were soft, carried by the smoke of burning myrrh, and Aphrodite, moved by his devotion, listened. The altar's flame flickered higher, a gentle sign of her favor, unnoticed by Pygmalion as he returned to his workshop. Back home, Pygmalion approached Galatea, his heart heavy with unspoken hope. He touched her hand, expecting the cold touch of ivory, but found it warm, soft, like living flesh. Her chest rose with a gentle breath, her eyes blinked slowly, and her lips curved into a faint smile. Aphrodite had granted his wish, breathing life into Galatea, her transformation as quiet as a flower opening to the sun. Pygmalion, overcome, held her, their embrace a silent vow under the soft light of his workshop. Galatea, now alive, stepped into the world with a calm grace, her love for Pygmalion as pure as his for her. They married under Aphrodite's blessing, their union marked by the gentle clink of shells and the scent of blooming roses. In some versions, they had a daughter, Paphos, named after Cyprus's sacred city, her laughter a soft echo of their love. Pygmalion continued his craft, his statues now infused with a new warmth, each one a quiet tribute to the miracle of Galatea. This myth, with its gentle warmth, mirrors the Colosseum's story of creation and transformation. Pygmalion's statue, like the Colosseum's travertine arches, was a work of art born from human skill, crafted with care to stand eternal. Galatea's awakening, like the Colosseum's restoration, brought new life to something still, turning stone into a living legacy. Both stories celebrate creation, where love or labor breathes vitality into the inanimate. The tale reflects the Greek view of art as divine. Pygmalion's devotion, like the Colosseum's builder's precision, transformed raw material into something transcendent, a quiet act of defiance against mortality. Aphrodite's intervention, like the Colosseum's consecration as a Christian site, shows divine power shaping human dreams, granting life or meaning to what seemed lost. Galatea's transformation also parallels the Colosseum's enduring presence. Just as she became more than ivory, the Colosseum became more than an arena, a symbol of history, resilience, and human longing. Pygmalion's love, like the Colosseum's visitors, seeks connection with something greater, whether a statue or a monument's silent stones. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Psyche and Eros, a tale of love, trials, and a soul's quiet journey to divinity. For now, let the soft warmth of Galatea's awakening linger in your mind, like sunlight touching a polished statue. Let us glide deeper into the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the gentle tale of Psyche and Eros, a story of love, trials, and the quiet journey of a soul toward divinity. Imagine a world where mortal and divine hearts entwine, where challenges are met with steady resolve, and love blooms like a flower in soft dawn light. This myth unfolds with the serene rhythm of a candle flickering in a still room, carrying us through Psyche's trials and Eros's devotion. Settle deeper into this tranquil narrative as we explore the boring yet heartwarming details of this timeless Greek love story. Psyche was a mortal princess, the youngest of 3 sisters, whose beauty rivaled the stars. Her radiance drew crowds to her father's palace, their whispers comparing her to Aphrodite, goddess of love. Temples to Aphrodite stood empty, their altars cold, as mortals offered gifts to Psyche instead. Aphrodite, from her Olympian throne, felt a quiet stir of jealousy, her divine pride wounded by a mortal's allure. She summoned her son, Eros, the god of love, and tasked him with a plan: to pierce Psyche with an arrow, making her fall in love with a monstrous creature, a punishment for her beauty. Eros, with his golden bow and arrows tipped with desire, descended to Psyche's chamber under the cover of night. His wings whispered softly as he approached, his presence unseen in the dark. But as he gazed upon Psyche, sleeping peacefully, her face serene as a moonlit pool, his heart wavered. Struck by her beauty, he pricked himself with his own arrow, falling deeply in love. Unable to fulfill his mother's command, he vanished, leaving Psyche untouched, her fate now entwined with his. Psyche's beauty, though a gift, became a burden. Suitors admired her but dared not propose, fearing her divine allure. Her parents, worried, sought the oracle of Apollo, whose voice was calm but ominous. Psyche was destined to marry a creature feared by gods and men, to be left on a mountain's peak. In a quiet procession, Psyche was dressed in bridal robes and led to a cliff, her steps steady despite her fear. The wind, soft and mournful, carried her to a hidden valley, where she awoke in a palace of gold and marble, its halls glowing with gentle light. Each night, Eros visited Psyche in darkness, his voice warm and tender, his presence a comfort she could not see. He was her unseen husband, their love growing through whispered words and gentle touches. He asked only one thing: that she never light a lamp to see his face, a request delivered with quiet sincerity. Psyche agreed, her heart trusting, their nights filled with the soft rhythm of shared dreams. But doubt crept in, planted by her sisters, who visited the palace and sowed suspicion. They whispered that her unseen husband might be a monster, their words like ripples in a still pond. One night, Psyche lit an oil lamp, its flame small but steady, and gazed upon Eros's face. Golden, divine, his wings folded in sleep. A drop of hot oil fell, waking him. Betrayed, Eros fled, his wings carrying him into the night, leaving Psyche alone, her heart heavy with regret. Determined to win him back, Psyche wandered the earth, her steps slow but resolute. She sought Aphrodite's temple, offering herself to the goddess's service. Aphrodite, still jealous, imposed 4 trials, each a test of Psyche's spirit. First, she sorted a pile of mixed grains: wheat, barley, lentils. By dawn, a task as daunting as counting stars. Ants, moved by her quiet despair, helped her, their tiny forms working in silent harmony, the grains falling into neat piles under moonlight. The second task was to gather golden wool from fierce sheep grazing by a river. Psyche, guided by a reed's soft whisper, waited until dusk, collecting wool caught on thorns, her hands gentle to avoid the sheep's wrath. The third task was to fetch water from a river guarded by dragons, its current swift and perilous. An eagle sent by Zeus soared down, filling her vial with a steady swoop, the water glinting in the sunlight. The final task was the hardest: to descend to the underworld and retrieve a box of beauty from Persephone. Psyche, with a coin for Charon and cakes for Cerberus, crossed the Styx its waters lapping gently. Persephone, touched by Psyche's humility, gave her the box, her smile soft as asphodels. But curiosity, like a quiet tide, urged Psyche to open it. A deep sleep, hidden within, enveloped her, her body falling still on the earth. Eros, healed from his wound and longing for Psyche, found her sleeping. His love, as steady as a heartbeat, woke her with a gentle touch. He pleaded with Zeus, who, moved by their bond, granted Psyche immortality. She drank ambrosia, her form glowing with divine light, and joined Eros on Olympus, their love now eternal, their embrace as soft as a summer breeze. This myth, with its gentle warmth, mirrors the Colosseum's journey from creation to enduring legacy. Psyche's trials, like the Colosseum's restoration, required patience and perseverance, transforming fragility into strength. Eros's love, like the Colosseum's builders, crafted something lasting from humble beginnings, a palace of gold or arches of stone. The tale reflects the Greek view of love as a journey through hardship. Psyche's tasks, like the Colosseum's games, tested resolve, each challenge a step toward redemption. Her immortality, like the Colosseum's status as a UNESCO site, marks a triumph over time, a quiet victory of endurance. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Midas and the Golden Touch, a tale of greed, regret, and a river's quiet cleansing. For now, let the soft glow of Psyche's love linger in your mind, like a candle burning in a silent night. Let us drift deeper into the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the gentle tale of King Midas and the Golden Touch, a story of greed, regret, and the quiet cleansing power of a river. Imagine a world where gold glitters under a soft sun, but its allure brings sorrow rather than joy. This myth unfolds with the serene rhythm of water flowing over stones, carrying us through Midas's wish and its consequences. Settle deeper into this tranquil narrative as we explore the boring yet profound details of this timeless Greek cautionary tale. Midas was king of Phrygia, a land of rolling hills and fertile valleys, where vines grew heavy with grapes and rivers sparkled under the sky. His palace, adorned with marble and bronze, gleamed softly in the morning light, a testament to his wealth. Yet Midas's heart longed for more, his desire for gold as restless as a breeze stirring leaves. He ruled with a steady hand, but his thoughts were often lost in dreams of endless riches, his ambition a quiet flame burning within. One day, Midas found an old satyr, Silenus, wandering drunk in his gardens, his steps unsteady among the roses. Silenus was a companion of Dionysus, the god of wine and revelry, his laughter a familiar sound in divine feasts. Midas, recognizing him, treated him with kindness, offering food and rest, his hospitality as warm as a hearth's glow. For 10 days, Silenus stayed, sharing tales of distant lands, his voice slurred but merry. Midas then returned him to Dionysus, leading him gently through Phrygia's hills, the air sweet with the scent of vineyards. Dionysus, grateful for Midas's care, appeared before him, his presence radiant yet calm, a crown of ivy resting on his brow. He offered Midas a single wish, a reward for his kindness. Midas, his heart stirred by thoughts of wealth, asked for the power to turn all he touched to gold. His words were soft but eager, his eyes gleaming with the vision of a golden kingdom. Dionysus, with a knowing smile, granted the wish, though his expression held a quiet warning, like a shadow passing over a sunlit field. Midas returned to his palace, eager to test his gift. He touched a stone, and it shimmered into gold, its surface glowing softly in the sunlight. He brushed a branch, and its leaves turned to gold, their edges catching the light like coins. His joy was boundless, his laughter echoing through the halls as tables, chairs, and goblets became gold under his fingers. The palace gleamed, a monument to his desire, its rooms filled with a golden stillness that seemed to hum with wealth. But the gift soon turned heavy. Midas reached for bread, and it hardened into gold, inedible and cold. He lifted a cup of wine, and it solidified, its liquid frozen in a golden sheen. His garden, once vibrant with roses, became a lifeless field of metal, its petals unyielding. Worst of all, when his daughter ran to him, her embrace warm and trusting, his touch turned her to a golden statue, her smile frozen, her eyes unseeing. Midas's heart sank, his joy replaced by a quiet despair, the weight of his wish as heavy as the gold around him. He fell to his knees, pleading with Dionysus for release, his voice soft with regret. The god, appearing once more, spoke with calm compassion, instructing Midas to wash away his gift in the river Pactolus near Sardis. Midas journeyed to the river, its waters clear and gentle, flowing over smooth pebbles. He plunged his hands into the current, and the golden touch dissolved, the water shimmering with flecks of gold that settled in the riverbed, giving Pactolus its legendary wealth. Midas touched his daughter's statue, and she awoke, her warmth returning, her laughter a soft melody in the palace once more. Midas, chastened, turned from greed, seeking a simpler life. In some versions, he sought Dionysus's wisdom, joining his followers in quiet revelry, dancing under starlit skies. The tale of his golden touch became a story told by firesides, its lesson as enduring as the river's flow. Wealth, without balance, brings only sorrow. This myth, with its gentle caution, mirrors the Colosseum's story of ambition and consequence. Midas's golden touch, like the Colosseum's grandeur, promised glory but delivered loss, its spectacles dazzling yet fleeting. The river Pactolus, washing away his curse, parallels the Colosseum's restorations, cleansing the scars of time to reveal enduring beauty. Both stories teach moderation, the need to value life's warmth over cold wealth, whether gold or stone. The tale reflects the Greek view of hubris, where desire outpaces wisdom, much like the Colosseum's builders who reached for eternal glory only to face decay. Midas's regret, like the Colosseum's missing half, is a quiet reminder of limits, a call to cherish what lives and breathes. The river's gold, like the Colosseum's stones, endures as a symbol, its value rooted in the story it tells. As we drift toward the next part, we will explore the myth of Sisyphus, a tale of cunning, punishment, and the quiet weight of an endless task. For now, let the soft flow of the Pactolus linger in your mind. Like water washing over a silent shore, let us conclude our serene journey through the soothing myths of ancient Greece, settling into the quiet tale of Sisyphus, a story of cunning, punishment, and the gentle weight of an endless task. Imagine a world where a boulder rolls up a hill only to fall again, its rhythm as steady as the tides. This myth unfolds with the soft cadence of stone against earth, carrying us through Sisyphus's schemes and his eternal labor. Settle deeper into this tranquil narrative as we explore the boring yet profound details of this timeless Greek myth. Bringing our series to a peaceful close, Sisyphus was king of Corinth, a man of sharp wit and boundless ambition, his mind as quick as a river's current. He ruled with a steady hand, his city thriving under his clever schemes. Sisyphus was known for his hospitality, welcoming travelers with warmth, but also for his cunning, bending fate to his will. His pride, like a quiet flame, often led him to defy the gods, believing his intellect could outmatch their divine power. This hubris, subtle but persistent, set him on a path toward a fate as enduring as the hills. One day, Sisyphus angered Zeus by revealing a divine secret. When Zeus abducted the river nymph Aegina, hiding her in a distant stream, Sisyphus told her father, the river god Asopus, where she was. His words, spoken with calm defiance, earned Zeus's wrath. The god sent Thanatos, the personification of death, to seize Sisyphus, his chains gleaming faintly in the twilight. But Sisyphus, ever cunning, invited Thanatos into his palace, offering wine and a seat. With a gentle trick, he bound Thanatos in his own chains, trapping death itself. The world falling silent as no one could die. For days the earth was still, mortals lingering in a strange, quiet limbo. Hades, god of the underworld, noticed the absence of souls crossing the Styx, his realm empty of new shades. He sent Ares, the war god, to free Thanatos, whose chains fell with a soft clink. Freed, Thanatos came for Sisyphus again, but the king had another plan. He told his wife, Merope, not to perform his funeral rites, a quiet instruction whispered in the night. When Sisyphus died, his soul reached the underworld, but without proper rites, he pleaded with Hades for a chance to return, to ensure his body's burial. His words were soft, persuasive, and Hades, moved by his plea, allowed him to ascend. Sisyphus, back among the living, had no intention of returning. He lived on, savoring the sunlight, the taste of olives, the breeze through Corinth's hills. But the gods, patient yet unyielding, noticed his deceit. Zeus, his authority challenged, devised a punishment as eternal as the earth itself. Sisyphus was brought back to the underworld and sentenced to an endless task, to push a boulder up a steep hill, only for it to roll down each time he neared the top, its weight crashing softly against the slope. In the underworld, Sisyphus labored, his muscles straining under the boulder's mass, his steps slow and deliberate. The hill was steep, its surface worn smooth by his endless efforts, the boulder's surface scarred from countless falls. Each push was a quiet struggle, the stone inching upward under a gray, unchanging sky. As it neared the peak, it slipped, rolling back with a low rumble, settling at the hill's base. Sisyphus descended, his breath steady, and began again, the cycle as rhythmic as a heartbeat. This punishment, though eternal, held a strange calm. Sisyphus's task was not loud or violent, but a silent, repetitive act, his focus unwavering. Some say he found meaning in the labor, his defiance a quiet victory over despair. Others see his fate as a lesson, a reminder that cunning cannot escape divine order. The boulder, like the seasons or the tides, moves in a cycle that outlasts all ambition, its motion a quiet mirror of life's persistence. This myth, with its serene rhythm, echoes the Colosseum's story of endurance and futility. Sisyphus's boulder, like the Colosseum's stones, bears the weight of time, enduring yet unchanging. His endless task mirrors the Colosseum's cycles of decay and restoration, each effort a step toward preservation, only to face time's inevitable pull. Both stories teach acceptance of limits, whether divine will or the erosion of stone. The tale reflects the Greek view of hubris and balance. Sisyphus's cunning, like Midas's greed or Narcissus's self-love, invited divine correction, much as the Colosseum's grandeur faced earthquakes and looting. His labor, like the Colosseum's missing half, is a quiet reminder of mortality, a call to find meaning in the struggle itself. The boulder's role, like the Colosseum's arches, endures as a symbol, its story carved in effort and time. Sisyphus's tale also ties to the Greek understanding of existence. His task, repetitive yet unending, mirrors the human condition. Striving, failing, and striving again, a rhythm as steady as the Colosseum's stones standing through centuries. Both myth and monument speak to resilience, the quiet strength to continue despite setbacks, whether a falling boulder or a crumbling wall. As we close this 15-part journey through Greek myths, let us reflect on their lessons. From chaos's void to Sisyphus's hill, these stories weave a tapestry of creation, love, ambition, and endurance, each thread as delicate as a whisper. The Colosseum, though Roman, shares their spirit. Its arches a stage for human triumphs and tragedies, its stones a testament to time's gentle march. These myths, like the Colosseum, remind us of our place in a vast, quiet cosmos where every effort, however small, leaves a mark. For now, let the soft rhythm of Sisyphus's labor settle over you, like a boulder resting at the base of a silent hill, guiding you into a peaceful night.